Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Let's Do This Together podcast. I'm your host, Arnold Telegaarda. I hope you guys had a great week so far, and it is officially June. Today, as of right now, is June 1st, and it's crazy how time flies by. But the summer is here. It's officially here, hence the salmon dinosaur shirt. But anyways, today is a very special episode because we have Jair Woo on the podcast. He is a men's fashion lifestyle guru on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all the other social media platforms, but he has been doing this for a minute. I've known him for about 5 years now, but this interview is the first time where we actually had a real conversation, which was really nice. I've been watching him for a long time. He started his channel really early in the YouTube game. I consider him as one of the OGs when it comes to, men's fashion and lifestyle. He's been on YouTube for a while. He is very big on a happy and healthy mindset and a happy and healthy lifestyle, which kind of goes hand in hand, obviously. So in this conversation, we talked about how he started YouTube and what made him want to start his channel and how he continues his ongoing success. And we also talk about what it takes to live a happy and healthy lifestyle. And it's so weird because, like I said, we barely have any real conversations, but I consider him as one of my friends because we've known each other for so long. We've been following each other for a while. And even though we haven't officially hung out or anything like that, I kind of feel like I know him. So without further ado, here is Mr. Jair Woo. Hey, what's up, man? Dude, we've known each other for, I want to say, almost 5 years now. And I think this is our second conversation that we've had, right? Yeah. The first time we met, I think it was at some type of events, like BeautyCon or something like that.
Yeah, this was a while back, right? This was like, I don't even remember, 5 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, the years, they're all blurred.
Same.
It was cool running into you in Hart and meeting you guys. It was really cool.
For sure. And I still remember that day. I think the first thing I said to you was like, whoa, dude, you're buffer in person. And then my wife's like, my husband, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. I've always been calling you Jair. Has it always been Jair or Jair? When did that happen?
So that happened. It's pronounced Jair.
Jair. Okay, my bad.
Jair.
Okay.
But growing up, it was always Jair. But then when I got into high school, people, especially teachers, it gets a little. It's like a unique name, right? So when you your first day of school, it's like Jair. How do you say it, right?
Yeah.
They say like Jair. And I think I was just so tired of correcting, so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go with it. So then, of course, classmates would be like, Jair.
Sure. Yeah.
And then it just stuck. So like, it's interesting. My family calls me Jair. And like, older friends call me Jair. Like newer people call me Jair. I went with that on my channel, so now it's just kind of. But it's funny because you said that because my manager too.
Yeah.
She also asked me this a few weeks ago. She's like, how do you pronounce your name? She's like, I've been saying it wrong this whole entire time. It's fine. I respond to both. It's fine.
That's cool. It has a little extra flair to it. I like Jair, man. It has a little accent on the I. I dig it, man.
I prefer it too, personally. So I prefer Jair. It sounds cooler.
For sure. Are you still in Palm Springs right now?
Still in Palm Springs, yeah.
Nice, man. You moved around a lot, no? Or
Well, I've traveled quite a bit.
Yeah.
So people always think I've lived in LA and I've lived in like other places, but I've been in Palm Springs forever. I do want to possibly I have actually been toying with the idea of like moving outside of the city.
Okay. All right.
We'll see. I don't know. I know you're in OC, right?
Yes. We lived in LA for the longest time. We moved around a lot, man. We moved at least maybe sometimes like once a year or so. We never really fully settled down in one spot because sometimes life happens. But we lived in LA until last year in October, and we moved to the OC because of the pandemic. We just wanted to be closer to family. And 2020, man, it just brought so many things to light. It just made me realize how far we were from family. We didn't really get to see him that much. So it was nice to move to the OC because, me and Hart were foodie. We're foodie people.
Yes.
So there's a lot of good spots to eat in the OC as well. And we're also, I know we can't really, well, we can right now, but we're annual Disney pass holders and we love going to Disneyland on the regular. And now it's only like 15 minutes away, which is great. So like we decided to move here. But what's crazy is the day that we moved, October last year, the next day, the OC fire happened.
Oh, that's true.
And they've never had any fire in the OC until we moved there. So we always joke around saying maybe we brought the fire.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, man, because literally we live in a new neighborhood, so there's a lot of empty lots.
Okay.
And we woke up that day, the sky was orange, and Hart was like, "Oh, I think there's like a fire maybe like 20 minutes away from us." I'm like, "Oh crap, that's scary." And then we thought it was still, we thought it wasn't gonna affect us, not counting like the air pollution or anything like that, but we thought we were okay. But then like 10 minutes later, Hart looked outside and I'm like, wait, there's flames right next to our lot. So literally next door, like flames. So I had to call 911 and we had to evacuate with their fur babies and everything. But, thank goodness, I think no structures were burnt or anything like that. They got it under control. But yeah,
wow. I remember keeping up with your stories, and like I know she was posting a bunch of stories. So I had forgot about that actually. Now you brought it up, but that must have been scary. But luckily, like you said, you guys were safe.
Yeah.
And, but I'm jealous. I love Orange County, and I'm actually there pretty frequent. Often I have a friend that lives there, so I'm constantly there.
Oh,
so,
well, dude, next time you're here, we gotta eat or something.
I know, I'm down. But yeah,
it's so nice, man. Like this past year, I'm like, why were we in LA? Why were like it's so us. And we even like picked up new hobbies, like things we would never do in LA. I got into bike riding, like everyone in the OC owns a bike. There's so many like bike trails here, and like I haven't ridden a bike since I was like 9 years old, So when I got here, like people were doing it, so we're like, oh, let's give it a shot. It's something healthy to do. And now I'm all in, man. I buy all the biking gears, like the matching, like the suit and the helmet and everything. I've gone completely 100% OC, man.
Decked out. You're riding your bike. You guys have a bunch of amazing food, and you're not like in LA itself, which can be pretty. I mean, Orange County is busy, but I'm not like LA.
No, not at all.
Perfect, because you guys are still kind of close to LA.
Yeah, we can still go there and like come back home, and it's fine, like an hour drive or so. Yeah. But it's fine.
Love the setup, by the way. It's cool.
Thank you, man. Thank you. This was actually the first thing that got set up when we moved here. I was like, I gotta have this. So this is the first like finished thing. So, but yeah, man, dude, I've been watching you since you first started your YouTube channel, man. I remember those days when I think you were still living with your parents, and you had that red wall, right? You were in your room, and I remember, man, you had the coolest like hairstyle. It was kind of like swoosh to the right or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I've always wanted that cut, so I would always bring a picture of you every time I go to a barber. I'm like this.
Can you nice. That's cool.
But yeah, man, you've been on YouTube for quite some time, and at the time when we kind of started, YouTube was relatively new. And also, guys doing men's fashion and things like that. I mean, there's a gluttony of them now, but at the time when you were doing it, you were kind of like the guinea pig in a way. So yeah, man, what made you want to start your own YouTube channel?
Well, first off, before we get into that, I do want to say congrats on the podcast.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I love the podcast. So yeah, I mean, going back to that, I mean, it was years and years back, right? I mean, it now feels like it's crazy to think. I think I started in 2012, I want to say, which is pretty crazy to think. But why I started it was, I mean, I've always been creative. I mean, since I was a kid, I used to ask my parents for, video cameras instead of, toys. I just was always into that creative side. I always had that creative side of me. And I loved style just naturally. I mean, I loved like dressing up for school and like, oh, cool, what am I gonna wear?
Yeah.
And it just was natural to me. I even was like nominated for like best dressed in high school.
Sweet.
It's
Nice.
interesting because I had no idea that people actually noticed that
Yeah.
about me. So it's like, oh, I guess people do like my style. I was doing it for me, but I'm like, that's really cool, right?
Yeah.
Fast forward when YouTube came around, I started, I have a bunch of cousins, and I'd see them watching beauty gurus, like,
Right.
you know, for example, like your wife, like Hart doing lifestyle makeup, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. And they're like, yeah, they have all these followers, like it's really cool. So I'm like, oh, wait a second. I thought to myself, I wonder if there's guys doing this, right? For like
Right.
hair, um, even like style, lifestyle stuff. And it just kind of clicked one day. I was talking to a friend and he's like, you should do a channel. I mean, like you're really personable, like you have good, you know, good style and good hair. He's like, why you love making videos, like editing stuff.
Right.
So I just on a whim was bored and I'm like, all right, let's just do this. And I set it all up. And after like a few videos, it just started getting views to my
Right.
surprise. I mean, I thought maybe I'd get like 100, 200. Then after a few videos, it was like, oh wow, I'm getting like 1,000 views, 2,000 views, subscribers here and there. Actually, people were actually engaging, commenting. And then I just was hooked after that. Like, this is super cool being able to just connect with guys around the world. And there's girls that watch my videos too. And they're like, oh, I get inspired. I dress my boyfriend because of you, or
Yeah.
whatever it is. So it just after that, it just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
started to
And
grow.
were you still in school at the time, or were you working a part-time job or anything like that?
I was part-time job. I was working at a retail shop.
Oh, nice. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And
Very
I think at the time I was doing, I think that's when I was at college. I was doing like those two things. So I remember when I got really, I don't want to say addicted, but I just loved the creative part of it.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
totally have no social life because I was creating content here and there, and just that's all I wanted to do.
I mean, it gets addicting, right? You kind of
Yeah.
keep want to like keep challenging yourself and leveling up your editing skills and all that. I remember when I moved from iMovie to Final Cut Pro, I'm like, okay, I stepped up.
Oh yeah. I remember actually when I was working the part-time job, it would be slow days that I would actually like have a little notepad at work, which maybe I shouldn't say, but I would write down ideas or like, oh, what's my next video?
Right.
Like, oh, what's next? What's next? I want to do this and that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And with YouTube being so new at the time, and we didn't really have anyone to look up to for guidance or any of that, and we were still relatively young, when we first started. How was it for you dealing with all, if you had any, if how was it for you dealing with all the criticisms and all like the negative comments and things like that?
Luckily, I mean, I definitely do get negative comments. I still do, but I think at the time, surprisingly, I think because I feel like we're kind of like I always say this on our podcast, like we're like magnets, right? What we put out there comes right back. So I feel what I was putting out there was genuine, and I was just kind of
Yeah.
being myself. Obviously, like playing it up a little bit because I want to be entertaining, but I was mostly being me and just being genuine. So I feel like a lot of and being positive,
Right.
spreading the message out there. So luckily, I mean, 80% of the comments were positive towards
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I definitely I do get negative comments, and it did affect me at times. Just, I mean, when you put yourself out there for people to see, you get anything. I mean, I've been called every name. Obviously, I've been features about myself that I didn't even realize. And I'm like, oh shit! Like, I guess my head is shaped like that. Like what? I'm like what? Okay. Uh, but actually, it does in a weird way. It did build like thicker skin,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it kind of made me even just growing up or getting older. It made me just in a weird way more comfortable with myself because I had to really learn like who I am as a person and
Yeah.
know that all those comments, the negative ones, which is a small percentage, but still, I was like, it's water off a duck's back. Like you
Right.
can't really take those comments to heart
Sure.
because it's like I want to see you putting yourself in front of
Yeah.
hundreds of people.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
It's easier to criticize someone, but it's like, unless it's constructive criticism, or unless you're actually in that same field that I'm in, like,
Yeah.
I'm not really gonna
Yeah.
cry about it.
Yeah, I mean, my thing is, if you don't know him personally, don't take it personal, right? With all those comments and things like that. And, it kind of comes with it comes with the territory, man, especially for you, because you've been very open and very vulnerable in your channel. I mean, like you said, you've been doing this for years, and throughout those years, we've seen you grown. You share some things with us that some people might be afraid to share. You came out on YouTube. I don't know if you came out to your family prior to that, but I remember when I first watched the video, I was like, "Oh, cool." I thought my gaydar was spot on, and I never I never like thought that you were gay. But so when I found out, I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool, man." So props to you for being so brave and being vulnerable to share those kind of things, because at that time, I mean, at that time it was already accepted, but now everyone's like coming out and it's becoming like the norm, which is really cool. This is what we work towards for. But yeah, you were one of the pioneers on YouTube, I feel, to come out, which is awesome. So how did that feel for you?
That was that was liberating, to be honest. I mean, I had only came out to a few of my family members, like close the closest people in my life already knew,
Yeah.
but majority of them did not. So I
Mm,
remember even getting a phone calls, which
okay.
it's weird because I guess I don't know if you feel the same way, but like sometimes like I do have the like I do know people are watching, but I don't think it really clicks.
Right, right.
So I had my aunt call, aunts call me. It's like, oh hey, I saw your video. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
but it was nothing but love. Like,
That's great.
we love you, and that doesn't change anything. So it felt nice to do that, and to this day, I feel like that's one of my proudest videos.
Yes. As it should
But
be.
it, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I still get emails from guys all around the world, which is
Right.
crazy to even articulate. Like, people all around the world watch, or it's affected them in some way. Just getting
Sure.
emails, saying, "Hey, thanks to you, I got the courage to come out," or even advice, like how relating to me, like I'm in your same
Yeah.
situation, and that to me is just, it's like it's worth it, right? And it was
Absolutely.
definitely super scary to post it. I kept going back and forth, like
Mm,
it's like once you click
yeah.
that publish button, it's gonna be out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was definitely worried that it was going to affect how people would watch, right? Even I already was like, people might unsubscribe. That's fine. Like,
Sure.
there's a bigger purpose, I guess, for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt good, and I don't regret that whatsoever. It
Good,
was
man. That's awesome. I feel one of the things that we have in common is our love for fitness and health, right? And to me personally, I feel like fitness and fashion go hand in hand because they both make you feel good about yourself. And I think one complements the other.
yeah.
So I know that fitness has been a big part of your life. So I was wondering if you could take us on that journey, how when you first started falling in love with fitness.
Oof, this is a lot. How long do you have?
I Full
Like,
disclosure, I already know the story because I
yeah.
listened to the podcast, but
But for those listening, I mean, where do I even begin? I mean, I when I was a teenager, I gained weight, as like I feel like a lot of kids, we go through like those phases, and I
Sure.
just um I said this like you said in our podcast. I was definitely a pretty sad teenager going through stuff. I mean, I coming to terms with my sexuality, I was pretty depressed. So I just didn't know who I was, and I was just really down on myself. And I feel like, on top of my love for food, not gonna lie, I love to eat.
It was great.
There was like, I was kind of, yeah, like eating my feelings, I guess you should say.
Mhm.
And so I was a chubby kid. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But then as I got to high school, I wanted to just, I guess I was sick of feeling down. Not that like, okay, my brain's like, I want to say so much. I was like, I want to change my life around for myself.
Right.
So I started researching, like, I need to do this for me. Like, high school, it's a new start. I want to lose weight. be healthier. And there were some, things along the way where I just did it super, super quickly. And I did like the Atkins diet.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
I mean, I became like obsessed with dieting, which honestly, like, it's not great to be that obsessive over it. But fast forward to that, like trial and error, I started just doing like cardio, um, trying to figure out like what I liked, right?
Right.
Cardio, there's weight training. Um, and then I got into yoga as I got a little bit older. I started doing teacher training. Not sure if a lot of people know that, but
Yeah, I think you mentioned in one of your videos that you're actually also a part-time instructor for yoga,
yeah,
right?
I used to do
Cool.
that too. I used to be a yoga instructor.
That's awesome,
Which,
man.
looking back, I wish I would have. I mean, it's not too late, but I wish I would have made videos on that.
Yeah, you
I
can
just
do it
totally
now.
didn't even. Yeah, I could still do that. So I got into yoga, and then just started feeling really good about myself, because I say that when you have a goal in mind, uh, it does build confidence, right?
Yeah.
It can be like fitness, I don't know, anything, a talent, career.
Right.
When you really go after something and you start to achieve it, like, it really does build confidence. And of course, it just helped with mental health.
Yes,
Better.
absolutely.
It increased my. I mean, I was felt much happier. My mood was elevated,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's basically it. I mean, that was all over the place, maybe, but that's kind of
No,
how it.
no, you're spot on. And going back to the whole yoga thing, I never been a person that thought I would need yoga. Like I was one of those people that's like, oh, that's great for you. That's cool. If it works for you, awesome.
Yeah.
But man, I shared this story on my podcast, but 2020, last year, I had my first anxiety attack. And I had never experienced that before in my life. So when it first happened, I'm like, what is this? Oh my God, like what's going on here? Like I never felt that way before. And one of the things that got me through it was yoga and meditation. I started meditating in the morning, and I've never done that before. And it's helped me out so much. And I saw how important yoga is or meditating is to everyone's daily lives. It could benefit anyone and everyone. So
Yeah,
which is really cool.
that's amazing. I'm glad that you found that, right,
Yeah.
meditation. And it's true. I mean, yoga isn't for everyone. There's different ways that you can help your mental health, right? But meditation is definitely, it's same here. I think that's what I learned most through yoga, was because yoga is essentially meditation.
Right.
You're working your body, yeah, but you're really focusing in the moment and like clearing all your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I remember I would feel like I was on a high.
Hmm.
Just, I was like, whoa, this feels amazing. I feel so centered and so clear headed. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a good takeaway from that time of my life. And it's amazing to hear that you do that too, because I meditated this morning, even if it's like 5 minutes. And that's something that I feel like I feel like more people should practice meditation. It can be a little intimidating to some. It's like, how do I sit still and like clear my thoughts? But
Right.
so many benefits to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
So
think another thing that we share is the fact that we do intermittent fasting. I discovered that I want to say like 2019 is when I started doing that, and I love it, man. Me personally, I feel like it's almost like a cheat code. You know what I mean? Because obviously you still have to eat your greens, your vegetables, get your, all your nutrients in and things like that. But you can kind of cheat a little bit. And for me, my eating window is from 12 noon to 6 p.m. And to be, to
oh, wow.
be honest, I don't really even eat till 4 because I naturally just don't get hungry like in the morning and the afternoon. So I usually just kind of have like a big meal around like 4. And now I'm at the point where I'm eating one meal a day right now. And it's been working for me. And through intermittent fasting, for me personally, when I first did it, like I lost 20 pounds and I was like, I should be doing this for life. So how was that journey for you? How did you discover intermittent fasting?
That's awesome. I'm not doing it now. I was
Oh,
for
okay,
a
okay.
long, but I kind of stopped the last 2 months.
Yeah.
But hearing that, I want to go back to doing that because I did enjoy it. The thing for me is that I get hungry in the morning.
Oh,
That's like,
okay. We're the
I
opposite of that then.
right. I wake up. I want food.
Okay.
Like, it's weird. I
That's
know a lot of people don't really. want to eat in the morning or get hungry.
Right.
So that was the only challenge for me when doing intermittent fasting. But I love the benefits. I felt like, I think when I was doing it, my window period. So you were doing the 6 hour one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was doing 8, like
Nice.
12, 8.
Hmm.
And the reason I think I first did that is because I have a problem with eating at night.
I do too, man. That's the hardest part.
Oh yeah, watching Survivor. Another thing about
Oh, don't get me started on that, man.
see, that's like I
You
love
gotta
Survivor.
munch on something, you know. You can't just sit there and watch.
See, I'd watch Survivor like right before bed or like any show, and I would just want to eat everything.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, I need something to tame that. Intermittent fasting can probably help, and it did.
yeah.
I feel like when I was on it, I did get more like lean and I started seeing abs coming out. I was like, oh shit. Like, yeah,
Okay, I see you.
okay. But I'm not doing it now. But I do think it is a great tool, and it has so many benefits. After a little while, I did notice, because it's hard at first, but I would feel energetic in the morning without any food, just like the black coffee, right? You can have
Yep,
that.
yep. Or green tea sometimes. It's okay, they say.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it again soon.
Yeah, yeah, man. Hey, speaking of Survivor, I don't know. You watch the U.S. Survivor?
Yeah, I watched US and Australia.
They're coming back in the fall, which I'm super, super excited about.
I'm so excited. I saw that post. I was like, yes. I want to go. Yeah. One day, I would like. Would you do it?
No, heck no. Me and Hart talk about it all the time. We actually even got invited to do the Amazing Race, and we said no to that. Just because I like to be the person to sit on my comfortable couch and watch them do all the challenges. I sweat easily, man. So I would not last in that type of heat for
And
just an hour.
the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure. Oh my gosh, man. And sometimes, these contestants, I mean, I can't relate, but I'm just imagining, I bet if you're there for like a month, you
Yeah.
forget that you're being filmed. Like the camera
Oh,
crew, I bet just kind of disappears and you say things that you shouldn't say, and you forget that like other people are watching. I remember watching this episode, I think it was the US Survivor, where one guy got outed as a trans. And it
yes.
was so bad because I knew that at tribal council, he said it without thinking. And as soon as he outed that person, the whole group got mad at him. That's when he just realized, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And the realization started coming in. So yeah, like things like that, that just makes me never want to do it.
I remember that moment watching that on TV. I felt so. I mean, I felt like I was there.
Yeah, I felt sad. I felt so angry, man.
Yeah, so many emotions, and it's true. I mean, you're under pressure. You are starved.
Yeah,
You're in a competition, and you're basically survival of the fittest. So I can't even imagine. Not saying that's an excuse for what he did, but
sure.
it is yeah, it's hard. I feel like that the no food for me would be. Whew, I'd just be like, I don't even know what I do.
I don't know what the connection is with being hungry at Survivor and craving peanut butter. Because every time someone busts out a jar of peanut butter, they're always like, "Oh, peanut butter!" Oh, like I never crave peanut butter, even when I'm hungry. I mean, like it's fine if it's in front of me, I'll eat it. But like they worship peanut butter like it's the best food in the world. So I never get that about Survivor.
They're that starved for food when they start crying.
Yeah, yeah, it's
They're
true.
like peanut butter or at anything, right?
But Survivor's a great show, man. I can't believe it's been around for so long, and I didn't really pay attention to it till like last year or so. But now, we binge watched it, and I think me and Hart already finished from season 10 all the way up to the current one. I can't watch the first 5 seasons. I feel like it's a little too slow for me.
Yeah, I haven't seen those actually. I've only seen basically what you guys have watched.
Yeah,
For the later seasons.
yeah.
But when you guys have time, it's harder to watch. But Survivor Australia is.
We watched 2 seasons of Survivor
Okay.
Australia. We love it, and it's so cool, man. Because like you said, you said you prefer the host of Australia more than Jeff. and Jeff, right? I haven't watched in a while.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jeff. But I see what you mean. Like, when we were watching the one from Australia, we're like, wow, he's a great host. I almost forgot about Jeff. I felt like he's also built for Survivor.
at first I was like, nah, it's not the same. But then
Yeah,
I got used to it. I got into it.
he's
Only
great.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But going back to you, man, congrats on your podcast that you started with your brother. What made you want to start to do that?
Thank you. Uh, well, we're super close, and actually, I think the podcast brought us even closer.
I bet.
We're sharing things in the podcast and different perspectives that perhaps we don't dive into on a day to day
Yeah.
life. But we started this during whole pandemic or
Yes.
panorama, as people say, or the pandemic. we uh we were like pretty not well, we were bored, but we're like we want to start something together, right? We want to
Yeah.
start this project. We always have these like conversations, these long ass conversations. He's a Gemini, I'm a Libra. We're both air signs, so we're constantly like chatting and chatting and chatting
Yeah.
and challenging each other with like our different opinions.
Yeah.
So I don't know, when did we just he loves podcasts too. Before me, like he always been into it, and I started getting into podcasts more as of like the last year or so.
Yeah.
And we just one day we're like, hey, we should for fun, start a podcast. I feel
Yeah.
like we have different perspectives. Still one goal in mind. I mean, we like spreading positivity, and we wanted to share our stories. So that's just kind of how it started, and now we are on episode 40.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a great milestone, man.
Crazy. I love even numbers, so I love
Yeah.
even numbers.
Me too. My OCD's like that too. I'm like, oh, 10 looks good, 20 looks
Yeah.
good.
I'm like, not wait for 50. I'm like 40. Uh, so yeah, it's been crazy. It's been cool. People have they seem to enjoy it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna keep doing it.
Congrats, man. The Woo podcast. I love the name. Is your last name really Woo? Because that's a cool name, man.
It is. Thank you.
That's
It
awesome.
is my last name. People think they're like, is that your last name?
Is that your stage name?
Jair Woo. It's actually Jair Gonzalez. No, I'm
All right.
kidding.
Well,
um,
congrats, man. I love listening to it. It's always, a nice, easy listen in the morning for me, whether you want to get motivation or just entertainment, or if you just want to be a fly on the wall and listening to two brothers talk about whatever they want to talk about that day. It's a great listen. So congrats on that, man.
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and Jared, or sorry, see, I call myself Jair. You've always, since I've been watching you, to me, you always seem to be a go-getter. I feel like you're the type of person that never waits on anyone. I feel like you're the type of person that takes things into their own hand, and you're not afraid to try new things, man, like with a podcast. And also I think 2018 you started your own clothing line, and that
Yes.
was great. By the way, you sent us some stuff. I love the hoodies, I love the shirt, great fabric.
Thank you.
um so what motivates you to go out there and just do it?
I was gonna wear it actually right now.
Oh, there you go, little plug, love it.
I was like, should I wear that? Like, nah. No, but what was the question? Like,
I was saying, what motivates you to just go out there and just to do it?
what motivates me to go out there and do it? It's a good question. I don't know if I have like a good answer for that. It's true. I mean, I always have been that type of person, just to carve my own path, and
Yeah.
definitely very ambitious, and I have like so many ideas. And I remember like after high school, I was, how people usually have a set thing they want to do,
Right.
which I even feel like after high school, that's like too soon to kind of know what you want to do. Some people have that,
Yeah.
but people were like, oh, I want to be a dentist, or I want to be an architect. And for me, I thought, I want to do everything. I don't even know what I want. Like,
Yeah.
I like photography. I love fashion. I love painting. I love fitness. Like, what do I want?
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess to tie that in together, I was like, I'm just gonna, I don't know how, but I will
Do it all.
do it all and see where life takes me. And luckily with YouTube, like that allowed me to really be creative and and travel and meet people and get amazing opportunities. And I just feel like there's definitely days though where I'm not motivated. You know, I have
Sure.
mentioned on the podcast, like there's days where I'm super hard on myself. So it's nice to hear, and I thank you for saying that, because actually the other day a friend of mine was also telling me like, hey, you're hard on yourself, because I'm always kind of trying to think what's next, like
Yeah.
what's
Right.
next. And I'm
Right.
looking too much into all of that, that sometimes I stop to realize, hey, be in the present moment, look at what you've done. It's really
Yeah.
smell the roses, as people say.
Yeah.
um, and I'm kind of rambling a little bit, as I usually do. But yeah, I motivate myself for the future me,
Yeah.
you know and for my younger self as well, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. And going back to fitness and me listening to your podcast, I really loved your answer to a question that you had that you talked about in your episode where it was about fitness and you said that you're working out for your future self. Like, you want to be able to run with your future kids and thinking
Yeah.
about your 40 or 50 or 60-year-old self and making sure that that guy's going to be okay. So I need to do this now to take care of that guy. So I really really love that answer, man. And yeah, I think to me you're just like a well balanced guy, man. I'm sure just like anyone else, you have your rough days like you said, but I mean, you have such a great outlook in life. I feel like mentally you're doing what you feel like you need to do to have a healthy state of mind. You're taking care of your body and you're doing the things that you love. And I think that's really amazing. And my question to you is, what would you say to someone who has a hard time taking that first step into doing what they want to do in their lives?
That first It's a good question too. I'd say to just, I know it's easier said than done, but to just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't wait for perfection, don't wait for the right time, don't wait for having everything in order.
Yeah.
Right? I know I keep saying starting with my channel, but it's just a good example. I mean, I just kind of went for it. I didn't really have time to really think
Right.
or to overthink.
Yeah.
And you have to, even if you're scared, do it scared.
Wow.
Because
I love that.
yeah, do it scared. I mean, life is scary. I mean, it depends how you look at it, but we really aren't never in control of like what can happen to us, but we're in control of how we react to it. And I said this in one of the episodes too, of my podcast, like in terms of dreaming big, I think it's shoot for the moons, because even if you don't land, you'll fall amongst the stars. Like you'll get to a good path anyway. You might not exactly get where you want to be, but there's always,
Yeah.
places you can land that I'm like, oh, I like this. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I just say, just go for it, take that leap of faith, and it's okay to have fear. Like that's fine. I always say fear is false evidence appearing real. It's a lot of it is our
That needs
own.
to be your next hat somewhere.
Okay.
But
And
that's a
honestly,
great
like
quote, man.
we speaking for myself too, a lot of the times I have to really talk myself out of it, because I feel like the most important relationship in life is that relationship you have with yourself, right? So you have to be your own hype man, be your own cheerleader. And like a lot of the times it's kind of unlearning past things. It's more of that. It's not so much learning, it's like unlearning.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
have to, speaking for myself, like I said, like I have to sometimes calm that voice that's telling me you can't do this, or that's not going to happen. It's kind of switching that narrative and being like, you can do this.
Yeah.
Who says you can't?
Right.
And it takes, with any goal anyone has, it takes patience, time, dedication, and yeah.
And you kind of just have to enjoy the ride. You got to enjoy the process, not just the destination. You got to enjoy every bit of it.
Right. Because when you get there, I mean, it's kind of like, what
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to you have to enjoy. It is true. I hear that a lot, and it is true. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. And just like me, you're also into tats, right? You
Yeah.
got you on you right now. You got anything else coming?
That's weird that you just asked that, because this morning I was thinking in my head.
Okay.
I was like, what's my next tattoo? I want a few.
Yeah.
I actually want to get something here, like a little. kind of like, well, like a forest type trees. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, some versions of it. Yeah,
I
I've
have to
seen.
send you a picture of that. But I want to definitely fill up my arm because
Okay.
I
Well,
have some blank
oh
space.
wait, that's new. I haven't seen that big piece right there. Is that new? Yeah.
One is one of the newer ones, but I think I got this like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So it's
Ve-
fairly new, but I want to fill this up. And I do want like a tattoo on my leg, like on my thigh.
Oh, damn, that's gonna hurt your
I
thigh.
hear that, yeah.
Wow. All right.
But we'll see. I was tempted to make an appointment, but I'm like, do I really? I mean, I can always wait.
Sure.
Like, I have other things I'd rather, I guess, invest money on. But I love tattoos. Yeah. You have? Do you want to get? Do you want to get any new ones or?
Yeah, for sure. So I have half a sleeve, and not a lot of people know this, but I have this big piece on my back from like right here to like the middle part. That one hurt the most. When I got that done, like blood was literally like rolling down. And I have me and Heart's wedding date right here in Roman numeral. And I got this, so strength. And I think we both have like a lightning bolt tat, right?
Yeah, I have
You
one
have
here on
one
my.
on your finger or something like that. Yeah. And I have this piece on my right calf, which I really really love. It's like a shield with wings, and I think the wings like arch like really nicely, like really evenly. But I want to get something right here on my forearm because this is an empty canvas right now, and I kind of do want to fill it up, and I want something that represents our fur babies, like Junior, Barry, and Blake. So I was thinking of maybe like some type of like 3 arrows or something like that, or
Oh,
you know
that's
what I
cool.
mean?
Yeah, a little simple, like
Something subtle, like
right.
not a portrait, but something that like represents them. So yeah, I'm
Like,
still thinking about it.
I want that too. That'd be nice. A little something, even for my dog. Well, he's somewhere
Yeah,
sleeping
your
now.
dog's cute, man.
My nugget. I'm surprised he's not here actually, snoring. So but that's yeah, I like that idea. Do you? I feel some. Do you feel like when you got your first one, you were already wanting the second, or was it kind of a?
um, for a while, no, because I remember I got my first tat when I was 18. And at 18, I already had a blueprint of what the finished product was gonna be. Like I knew I want something arm, back, leg, and I'll be good. And I was good for a while until like maybe 4 years later. Like that's when I was like, I think I want to add something on my chest, my this, my that. So, but for me personally, I think once I have this filled out, like I'll be happy. I mean, watch, I say that now, and like when I'm 50, I'm like, oh, I think I want to get my
I
head tatted.
remember
Right. But I love all your piece, man. Do you have one tattoo guy, or do you go to different artists?
Thank you. I have two guys. Their names are both Wyatt and Wayne.
Oh, nice. Very
They're in
cool.
the desert. Anarchy and Ink tattoo and Iron Palm tattoo, but they're really great. They're both of them have done my tattoos.
Very awesome,
And
man.
I'm just depending like it's like one of the Wyatt is the one I go to for any sort of like writing or like he does really good fine lines, and then
Yeah.
Wayne, yeah, Wayne is the one that does like all of the bigger pieces.
All right. Very cool.
I have my two tattoo artists that I really you know like going to. It's hard to. I always say like not that we're well. If you're gonna get a tattoo, anyone out there, just go to a good artist, right? I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like don't get a discount on. I mean, we love a discount, right? But that's not something.
I mean, it's yeah. You can't go cheap when it comes to your tat because it's on your body for life. A funny story. The lightning bolt one that was an impulse tat because uh me and Hart, we went to the Philippines and we went with our friend Vincent, who's also a photographer, and all three of us went. It was for a work trip, but we also had some days off, and it was just such a special trip that we kind of want to leave with a souvenir. So randomly, I think we just said we want to get tats, and a tattoo artist from the Philippines DM Hart and like, hey, we'd love to do it for you guys. So we're like that day, we're like, okay, let's do it. And so Hart actually has a cloud where my tat is
Oh,
at,
nice.
and
Yeah.
and our friend Vincent got a sun. So it's supposed to represent our friendship. So it's like the lightning bolt, Heart's cloud, and the sun. So it's kind of like through the good and bad.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that idea. because
It was actually Vincent's first test, so I kind of felt bad for him. I can't even imagine what he was thinking. Like, today I'm gonna get my first one. That's a lot of
his first in the Philippines. That's a story.
yeah.
That's really cool. I like that. Like, sometimes maybe you don't want to get the exact matching tattoo.
Right, right. But something that complements each other.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, man, you've accomplished so much in your career. I don't know if you're the type of person that's a planner or anything like that, but do you have any short-term or long-term goals in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I have many. Right now, I'm working on because I'm working on this thing where I'm trying to wait for it to kind of be
I
almost.
get that. I get that. Yeah,
like,
yeah,
talk about it, but
yeah.
I have definitely a lot of goals. What a boring answer because I'm not saying anything.
You're not all good, man. It's all good.
I just want to continue growing my channel and just my online
Yeah.
presence, and just I live happy. I mean, I feel like that's everyone's goal.
I'm a big believer in that, man.
Yeah, connect with more people. So yeah, aside from like career stuff, there's a lot of just
Yeah.
things that I want to accomplish for me, like make more friends, build my brand,
Love
come
that.
out with. I've always wanted to come out with a clothing line, not saying my other clothing line wasn't legit. That was more of like a tester, but
Yeah.
you see like bigger things that I know I can accomplish.
And you will. I believe in you, man. You definitely got the work ethic for it. So before we sign off, I just want to ask, I know I said that was the last question, but for anyone who's, struggling with mental health or, that had a big negative effect from 2020 or anything like that, what kind of advice do you have for anyone that's going through hard times, whether it's mentally or physically? I know that's very general and vague, but just an overall life advice.
That just to hold on, even though life is all a journey again. It's ups and downs. I feel like there's bad days, there's good days. Just because you have a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life. You have to really, just have faith, hold on, and it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, even for myself, like I feel whenever I have those moments, like I almost add on extra stress, unnecessary stress, being sad because I'm feeling sad instead of just allowing me to feel those emotions and just like, yeah, have a day where you don't feel good. As long as you get yourself back up, like that's fine. You can't appreciate the good days if you don't go through like bad days.
Absolutely.
So just surround yourself with people that you love, whether it's friends, like family, social media. You can make so many friends on social media. Really take care of your mental health, right? Your mind. We live all of our life in here, so you just might as well make it a good place. And yeah, do things that make you happy, whether it be anything. There's so many things like cooking, I don't know, dancing. I love to dance, which you're a good dancer too. I know that.
Thank you, man. Likewise, you too, bro.
Yeah, so many things. It is a vague question, but it's an important one to discuss because it was a hard year for a lot of us.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. You said a lot of great advice, a lot of quotable things that could go on a shirt or a tat. All great.
Reach out to people too. If you feel you need help, right, with like mental health, it's important to reach out for help because people will help you. And yeah, that's all. Last little thing I wanted to say. It's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, I believe that too. Well, thank you so much, man, for your time and for doing this with me. It's been a lot of fun. And like I said earlier, we barely talk, not counting Instagram and DMs and things like that. So it was nice to have like a real legit conversation with you.
Likewise, I thank you for having me. I support like everything you guys do, and it also feels like I do know you, which is interesting. I mean, we know each other, we've met, but yeah, I feel like, oh yeah, it's Arnold. Like I'm like a few months ago. So likewise, I appreciate it, and well, we'll continue chatting whenever I'm in the area. If I have time, we'll have to connect and have some good food. You guys have amazing food out there, so
yeah, absolutely, man.
Thank you guys so much for listening. That was a really great conversation. It was just really nice to finally sit down and have a convo with him because
He has so much insight to give. He's been through so much. This whole social media is definitely not new to him, so he knows what he's doing. And I just enjoy, his mindset. And I feel like we can all take something away from that. And I'm not surprised with the amount of success he has, because he definitely has the discipline and the work ethic to get there. So kudos to you, man. You're really, really inspiring. And I hope all you guys listening out there got something from it. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey. If you guys are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to give it a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. And also write down a review and let me know your thoughts. And if you're also watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And we are also on Instagram at Let's Do This Together Podcast. And with that said, I love you guys, and I will see you next time.